There's no need to make this a really long one. I will say this, though. January 30th, the Vancouver Canucks will be at home against the Colorado Avalanche. I will be going to that game. Yvonne managed to find some cheapy tickets. We will be going. We will be taking our middle child along with us. It'll be his first game. So that'll be fun. I anticipate watching. Vancouver will probably lose the game, but again, just having a chance to see Brock Besser again will be fantastic. I haven't seen him in a game since the preseason when he played against Vegas. That game, Vancouver lost 9-4. Besser got a goal in that one. It's all that matters. Tonight, though, I do want to touch on this. Toronto had a 2-0 lead. There's 5 minutes left. I was all ready to say, all right, so the Leafs are back. And then Columbus stormed back. The funny part to me was that John Tortorella seemed surprised when that tying goal went in. Happily surprised that tying goal. Because he seemed to be seething behind the bench before that. The Columbus Blue Jackets, at one point, I believe it was 11 minutes, they went without a shot. At one point, the shots in the third were 12-1 for Toronto. And that was after the first two periods. Columbus had 25 shots, and Freddie Anderson was the reason that Toronto was up 2-0. The Leafs get a point out of it, so they move back into a tie with Boston. For Columbus, this is a big win. This is the kind of win that they need, and this is 2 in a row. So they had the shootout win. Now they've got the win in overtime. Now you guys got to get a win in regulation. But this is the kind of thing that can help turn them around. It's just one of those games, and it shows how Bobrovsky's 12 saves early on against Toronto kept the game at a 2-goal lead, and then back comes Columbus. I don't really have a whole lot to add to this other than the Leafs. A lot of what this is, they're a young team. They're still learning how to win, and as excited as people get, and as much as people want to see them, get to a Stanley Cup and win a Stanley Cup and all these wonderful things, they do have a learning curve here. There was a play made by Marner late in the third that I thought looked. I believe it was Marner who should have shot when he passed, and that's just splitting hairs. I didn't think it was a big deal at the time, but that shot would have made it 3-0, and Columbus comes back and wins it by 3. And the weird part was that Columbus scored to make it 2-1, and I thought, so he doesn't get the shutout, it's no big deal. And then Dubois with a very nice goal to tie it. We're not talking about Dubois very much as a rookie, and that's pretty much by design. He's gradually being worked up, and now due to injuries, he's being forced into top 6 minutes, and he's performing really well. If Columbus has a lost season this year, and I don't think they will, I really think they're going to get it together. I don't see them as a team that's going to fall out of the playoffs. Dubois is going to learn a lot from this experience, and I really think Dubois is going to be a keeper as the top forward. When he was drafted ahead of Puljujarvi, many, including myself, thought that was a massive mistake for Columbus. Then he doesn't make the team last year at a training camp. People are, grumbling about how, he's a bust. And this again shows why you can't label somebody a bust early on. You can't, they did it with Puljujarvi. You have to wait until somebody's in about year 3, and then you can start using that word. But until then, it really doesn't apply. So Columbus wins. Toronto comes out of it with a point and a learning experience. Shame for Freddie Anderson. I was kind of hoping he'd get the shutout. Contrary to popular belief, I don't hate the Maple Leafs. I find it such a strange. I did. 2 years ago, I absolutely hated the Maple Leafs more than almost any other team in the league. But I'm not there anymore. You look at my most recent countdown of my 30 favorite teams, and yeah, Toronto is not at the bottom. They're not really near the bottom. So, with that point, as I said, Toronto moves, a point up, which is good because if teams behind them start getting better, and it could happen, every point matters. And in that dogfight between themselves and Boston, which I really think is developing into a dogfight, Boston's got those 3 games with Montreal coming up in the next 10 days. That's going to tell a lot about where Boston is. because of the fact that Rask and the Bruins struggle against Montreal. Doesn't matter that Montreal can't score. The one thing I will say for Columbus is, if they could actually get that power play going, they wouldn't be in all these dogfights. It is disturbing how poor their numbers have been on the power play. They're getting a little bit better. However, they were so anemic to start off. Anyways, there you go. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And again, if you're going to be in Vancouver for the game against Colorado, I'll be there. We'll probably show up early, so we'll be around the gates. And it's one of those, if somebody wants to come over and say hi, come over and say hi. Thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, and thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.